if there is one thing common amongst people, it's that nobody considers themselves to be the villain. It's so interesting to see how people label certain characters and other people as villains, but those so-called villains believe themselves to be the hero until the very bitter end. RWBY has dozens of such characters who claim to be the hero, hence they think all of their actions are justified, howsoever cruel it may be. One of the most controversial and radical figures who fits this description spot on is Adam Taurus. Tormented and tortured as a kid, forced to be a slave for the SDC, Adam Taurus lived a miserable life in his young age. After gaining power, he defended his fellow Vonnesses from human invaders, but eventually he was overcome with the desire for revenge. His first kill was a controversial one, and a confusing one too. Medical say that he did it out of the heat in the situation, desperation to protect Gira. But we know people from Remnant have aura to protect themselves. Gira was not in an immediate threat. Adam Taurus also possessed various tools and skill in his arsenal to take down an attacker without taking their life. Gira realized this and scolded Adam, but the others did not share this sentiment as they cheered on Adam, ignoring the loss of life, allowing Adam to further indulge in his vengeance and killing spree, now with people at his side to kill along with him, telling that he was right. But not everyone was so accepting of his actions. Blake questioned his morals, the so-called accidents and self-defense kills. Adam pretended to be in the right at the best of his abilities, but there's only so much one could pretend until they become tired of all that effort, of all that goody-goody talk. During the Black trailer, Adam couldn't hide his negligence for the lives of the crew members on board.
I'll set the charges.
What about the crew members?
What about them?
Causing Blake to finally confront the truth that the Adam she admired did not exist anywhere. It was simply an illusion, a pretension. Adam Taurus is a mysterious fellow. He shrouds himself in a fancy attire, talks about justice, revolution, righteousness. But the more you look deep into his words and actions, peeling off every layer, you can only find rottenness within. He's just like an onion.
Like onions.
They stink?
Yes.
Oh, they make you cry?
Yes.
Oh, you leave them out in the sun, they get all brown, start sprouting little white hairs.
Yes. Layers! Onions have layers.
He's a layered individual.
Yeah.
That's a really nice way of putting it.
He's Shrek.
Beat me to
Shrek.
it. Flippin' beat me to it.
He's like onions,
He's like
except
onion.
all the layers are terrible.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll get to see what's at the core of that horrible onion that made it so bad.
It's Shrek.
Yeah.
It's Shrek.
Yeah.
It's Shrek. Shrek's at the core of Adam. That's why he's so bad.
Yeah.
Adam's meeting with Cinder has shed a positive light onto some people's understanding of him. One may see genuineness in Adam's cause as he is not swayed by money. One may see compassion in his action as he seemed to care about his fellow men's lives. One may feel sorry for Adam, seeing as how he was threatened by Cinder, as Cinder has bidden his men to demonstrate her powers. But this exchange has been heavily misunderstood. Adam rejected Cinder not because he saw Cinder's malice, but simply because she was a human. If RWBY or Osmond or anyone with a genuine care to improve people's lives asked for Adam's help, he would have rejected him also because of his hatred for humans. He may care about his fellow men's lives, but we don't know why he cares about his fellow founders and White Fang members. Does he truly know love and compassion? Did he really care for Blake and the White Fang? In his own twisted way, he did. Probably. But why restrict such love and compassion if he had it? Why not care about the lives and the goodness of humankind also? If his love was genuine, how can a genuine love be restricted to the Fawn's race? How can one be so passionate towards one race and be so discriminating towards the other? Cinder attacked Adam's men, forcing Adam to accept a deal to further avoid conflict. That doesn't mean he was threatened and forced to attack Beacon. Oh no! He may have been reluctant to work with Cinder at first, but unrelated to that, he very much enjoyed his vengeance. He loved torturing Blake, taking vengeance upon her for leaving him. All of his love and care for Blake was completely gone when he met Blake during Volume 3.
I will make it my mission to destroy everything you love.
Adam is egotistical, spiteful. He cared about the Fonses and the White Fang because they were nice to him. They encouraged his lust for murder and vengeance. They served him and listened to his orders like dogs, gave him emotional support and saved him from his loneliness. They were perfectly aligned with his ego trip and he loved them for it. He cared about White Fang and Blake because they were his people, an extension of his ego. But as soon as you leave him, as soon as you get in his way, then he will unleash his wrath upon you. He has no mercy, no compassion, no pity. He forces himself to stay strong. He threw away any semblance of kindness and compassion as he deems them to be traits of a coward's. That's why he killed every White Fang member in his throne room. Love him, worship him, follow him, and he will accept you, but fall out of line, criticize and make fun of him, then death is the only thing Adam will deal to you. That's why his relationship with Blake is so confusing and chaotic. Nobody has loved and cared for Adam quite like Blake did, and nobody hurt Adam quite like Blake did. Not only leaving him stranded, but coming back to haunt him, thwarting his cruel plans, turning his entire men against him, criticizing and lecturing him until the bitter end. It's not that Blake lost her way, no, she gained a new way. She was freed from her fear, her admiration and naivete. She tried to help Adam, suggesting Adam to let go of the past. But ego could never accept that it isn't perfect, always pretending to be right, therefore it never learns. Even in his final moments, Adam cared about Blake. But not the real Blake, only the Blake of the past, who cared for him, listened to him, followed him, acted just exactly like him. He cared about the Blake that existed in his mind, while he tried to destroy the real Blake for ruining everything. This is the sad tale of a boy who lost his way, mind clouded by spite of the past, his life taken by the very people who he deemed to be weak. Adam is just like an apple that looks beautiful, bright red on the outside, but if you peel said apple, you'll find nothing but stink and rottenness. Everything about Adam's outside is distinctly created to be appealing. He has a cool mask, dark, fancy outfit, with a drawing of a rose that makes him appear strong yet elegant. He slices down robots with his katana, an exquisite display of skill, and absorbs enemy attacks to send them back with force. Saving Blake from danger and protecting an oppressed race, he truly looks like a hero from a fairy tale. Disney's Beauty and the Beast is about a story of a beast who may appear rough and cold on the outside, but warm and kind on the inside, while Adam's tale is the opposite, a hero on the outside, an egotistical maniac within. Adam's soundtrack, Lionize, perfectly demonstrated this motive. The song starts off with a transic harp, creating an air of elegance and mystery, followed by war drums and horns, signifying his declaration of violence and revolution against humanity. The first verse describes the oppression he felt in his past, and his willingness to unite the Pontises by taunting them and their weaknesses. Then the topic shifts to taking vengeance from humans and punishing them. And finally, in the chorus, you can feel Adam's unfiltered, unpretentious ego, claiming to be the hero, crying out to be worshipped and lionized. A desperate cry of maniacal madman, craving for other people's attention, declaring himself as the superior being, a savior. His outer image, his mask, has not only fooled Blake and the White Fang into following him, it also fooled the RWBY fandom. Many have believed the words of this man, a man they have not known deeply, a man who hides his eyes from the world. Many believe that the writers had retconned Adam's character to be more evil, not knowing that they had been mesmerized and hypnotized by the colors of the world, projecting their dreams and desires onto Adam, not looking at who he is but who they wanted Adam to be. Adam was always an egotistical asshat. In his introduction, he wanted to blow up a train along with its crew members, cause they were humans. In Volume 2, he willfully allowed his White Fang members to open up a tunnel to make the Grim Horde attack civilians, and in Volume 3, he attacked Beacon himself with his men, taking out innocents including teenagers and kids, and wounding Blake and Yang terribly. And when he lost in Volume 5, he couldn't accept and live with his loss. Instead, he was controlled by his pride, opting to take vengeance on Blake, making his death to be inevitable. Adam Taurus was always corrupted, and remained that way because of his ego.